Hello, and welcome once again to the Real Tough City server. It's been a while since we did a legit video outside of the New Year's Eve thing we did a few months ago. Anyway, due to a lot of projects, there's been a massive gap between the Blight video projects. We've seen the first video where a bunch of kids, one that got banned from the server, built a bunch of god-awful, butt-ugly cobblestone stuff. Then you've seen the transformation and removing things and ultimately leaving behind just the shells of buildings, as well as making new interiors. And now, finally, after all these projects and other things I had to do on another server and what have not, let's show you what was the final product, and we'll get into that later. No more of that butt-ugly cobblestone. In fact, let's just back up so we can see it. There it is. It is the Culinary Academy. Isn't that a far cry from what it used to look like? And yes, they were adding a third floor to the building, so it never got finished, but I finished it. As you can see, if we F5 back this way, it looks a lot better now. In fact, let's just start here at the restaurant. Which is the I can't pronounce that. If you know, good for you. If not, you're on the boat with me. It's an oxymoron. That's all that matters. Anyway, here's the inside of the restaurant. Please wait to be seated. And of course, here's the seating. And we got stairs and elevator to a second floor, which is more seating, as you can see. And we also have the quote-unquote elevator. And behind here we have the kitchen, which is one of the classrooms. And speaking of, now we go into the school part. Again, you can enter here as well. And here's the parking garage. We'll look at that later. We don't need to see much. I mean, it's pretty much the same everywhere. Is that this is what a classroom looks like. Seating arrangements might be a little different in others. You know, we got the whiteboard and we got the tables and chairs and what have not. And then we got the common areas. And then here in the back, you could either take the elevator or the stairs. And we'll just show you one more classroom. Just show you it's all the same. Just the seating arrangements might be different. Again, the whiteboard. And here's the entry and exit. And the butt-ugly cobblestone parking garage is no longer a thing. We'll get to this thing in a moment as well, as that's part of why this is going to continue. This was supposed to be the last video. As you can see, it looks a lot more like a parking garage instead of a heap of cobblestone slapped together. We got the quote-unquote elevator there, and stairs here. And there are the quote-unquote stalls in which to quote-unquote park. And of course we have the ramps going up and down, as well as the emergency exits to get out of the Culinary Academy. So, this was one of the builds that one of our recently banned people have been working on and then abandoned. This was a, if you've seen the mall videos from a while back, they decided to try and replicate the Blox department store where they would have every block imaginable, but they realized, unlike us, I can't talk, unlike those of us that are operating the server that don't have the time in which we have the God mode, as I call creative, turned on, that they couldn't really do it. So they abandoned it. They were starting to tear it down, and then I was gifted the building. So there's going to be something going in here. This corner and this corner and the wall starting back there is one of the things that I've done. This wall will disappear. And there's nothing really inside it right now. In fact, I forgot that I just totally blocked that door off, which was not a thing I wanted to do. And of course, like any construction site, they tend to keep the looky-loos away by blocking off what there is to see or not see. There's nothing really to see here. Just a floating floor, which is how it was designed. Did put in a viable, realistic structure to make it look like it's held up. Got a lot of work to do there. Got a lot of work to do with the floor. I'm not telling you what putting in here yet. Alright. So I want to, like I said, just recently, after doing a lot of projects, there were a couple of people that decided on many occasions to modify city streets, which has been mentioned many a times you are not allowed to do, and they did. They've modified other people's builds, which you're not allowed to do, without permission, and they've done multiple times. And we got multiple complaints. So the people behind this building and a few others like it are no longer part of the server. They've blown it. This is one of the good kids that we're keeping. One of our people, Nar. He's one of the kids that are on the server. He's staying put. We're not going to get rid of him at all. He's good. And then these same people that recently got banned abandoned the station for some odd reason. I looked at it. There's nothing wrong with it. So we're going to rehab it. Doesn't need much. They were building that thing. I don't know what to do with that. I think we'll continue it. There's some other projects way down the road they started and we'll get rid of. That's MC Scout. That's another kid that is it's on the server, and he's also, if he comes back, and I know he's been busy in real life, but if he wants to come back, he can. He's one of the good ones. One of the other things we're going to do is this ugly cobblestone crap heap they've put in. Not MC Scout, but for those of you that know Cube Expert and Liam Mangler, those are the two that have recently been banned for constantly violating rules. We've had enough. This god-awful ugly thing is going to disappear. There's no need for it. And if they want an entrance from the station to the baseball field, can do much better than this. That was also one of the other things. They've went around the city and made needless alterations to the properties. I mean, we've spent many hours fixing the damage these two have caused. And like I said, we've had enough with Liam Mangler and Cube Expert, and they're no longer part of the server. And if this is news to them now, well, you got yourselves to blame for that one. So they abandoned this. This was part of the last video. It was called Market Shopping Cart. It was their version of Market Basket. I spent time fixing it up and making it kind of look like the market baskets they build now. which is what it was named after, if I didn't mention it already. This is the reverse, as I call it, the reverse design, where it's bricks in the field and solid in the columns. Most of them it's brick columns, solid fields. So you can see it's now ceased property. We got plans for this. And as you can see, we definitely made sure that we made it known that this is indeed seized property. Now this is one of the builds that those two have made that I had absolutely no problem with, because in actuality I've kind of seen things done this way. However, you know, as architecture changes and what have not, it's time that it gets updated. There's nothing really wrong with it. I just want to make it look better than what it is. Anyway, let's go up here. And they have a roof garden. I fixed one of the things that was part of the rebuild is fixing this fence, which we did. And we got this here. I think this is supposed to be a ballroom. That's been sort of fixed. I'm not sure about the light levels in the middle. It's good. One of the things I also don't like that much, and I'm not sure if I'll change it in this room because it kind of works, and you'll see it downstairs as well, are the windows that are to the ground. We have, well, the sort of a service elevator. The guy that owned the place was gutting it clean, as you can see here, and was going to make it his own base. Well, that's not going to happen now, is it? So one of the things I'm definitely doing here is, this was a kind of like a studio apartment building, and I'm going to fix that so it is, once again, studio apartments. And here we are going to raise the windows up one block. There used to be a stairwell here. That's gone, but that doesn't matter much because we're going to push this wall out one block. And this is the first floor, which doesn't really make much sense, but I can honestly say I haven't been in this part. Yeah, well. Well, they're not going to be ready for furnishing anytime soon. Alright, so here we get the idea. This is going to move. Alright, now I'm going to fly. This was the butt ugly stairwell. I mean, there was a butt ugly stairwell here if you looked at the original videos. Now they got rid of it. Now the thing is, we got this bump out, and we do have a common wall here. And for what I want to put in on the first floor, covering both sections of the building, this wall is going to get bumped out one. And yeah, I wasted my time putting that in because this whole thing is going to grow one. So this will also be one bigger as well. So this whole wall is going to be removed and put on this building, make it a common wall. Make this even, and like I said, this will be the common wall. And when we come back, we are going... Actually, let's go inside. So So you can see here's the common wall. Now here's the first floor I was trying to show you. There were horse stables. A couple of them were named, so they weren't really of any use. And one wasn't, so they're in the horse dealership now. So if we make this the common wall and get rid of this, I can fit something in here that I am going to put in pretty soon. This will disappear. That just looks plain ugly, and it's not going to be part of the final design. So, yeah, when we come back, we'll have a lot of progress in here. Alright, we've done the exterior work, and we've modified the tops of the light, quote-unquote, blue sections. As you can see, this used to be the former market shopping cart. It was abandoned when we thought we were done with the Blight rehabilitation, as I'm trying to say rehabilitation, and then found that, you know, circumstances came up that we took this building over. So it has been gutted, the roof has been removed, and we've continued the wall all the way to the back of that building. As you can see, it's kind of close to the Culinary Arts Center, which there aren't any windows on the first floor anyway, so it's not really blocking anything. So this wall and this floor are going to go next. As you can see, we have the pillars here, and originally there was a staircase that went here, jutted in one, and then continued. But in order to fit what I want in this lower level, this whole building is moved out one block further than the original, and you could see the ballroom that was on top. It looked ugly, didn't really fit in, didn't look good with the new design, so that is gone. So this whole space will become something, and this is a dividing wall, which will be the dividing space between what's here on this side and whatever comes to be on that side. So, you know, we can get rid of those two. So this whole thing is going to be gutted out, and the pillars will remain. So that's what we've got for you. And we'll just do a quick fly around to show you what the exterior looks like now, which I personally think looks way better than what was here. And we gotta once again evaluate this station, because I think it might have been redone, their whole train system. So we got this whole building here, and as you can see, that creeper is looking around trying to make sense of it and probably enjoying what he sees. And this roof garden's gotta go because it's not even built right. There's literally no roof in this section, and the building kind of needs a roof. That'll be fixed. This is the other side, and again we got spaces we're not sure what we're gonna do with next. And flying the window, again everything aligns with these trenches here, and this whole thing gets, like I said, it was pushed out a block. So this is going to be an office building, and what's going to happen next is you're going to do a feasibility check of this train station, see if it is needed for renovations or it's just time to remove it. Alright, the project to gut the entire first floor of this building has been accomplished. And as you can see, wherever there was already some sort of stone foundation for a floor has been left intact, otherwise it's been put in. So the whole thing is gutted clean, and we're keeping this overly obnoxious amount of lighting in here so we don't have to do anything quite yet. These ledges are where decorative walls are going to be placed, so that's why that exists. And we just did a feasibility study on this, not that, this train station that seems to be abandoned, and for some odd reason, it actually still, the lines that are serving it are still in service, so there's no reason why this thing should have been abandoned to begin with. But when we look inside, we can see it's been kind of taken over by the, it's been vandalized quite a bit. There's nothing over here. We don't know why. And then we get the elevators that go up. Again, we don't know why it's all smashed apart. This is where the information desk used to be. So this does deserve to get redone yet again. It's just going to be done over and made to be a lot better than what it is. And the second floor, which is private office space, that has pretty much been vacated. So this needs to be addressed. We don't know what we're going to be doing with this section yet. They're just a bunch of empty office spaces. So that's something we also got to take into consideration. But the main thing that we want to take care of right now is the station itself. Here, once again, is the way down. Yeah, it's been trashed up a little bit. And we need to fix this thing up. This is definitely old-fashioned and not the way things are done anymore. So when we come back, we should have a much better looking station, at least this part of it. Okay, after some feasibility checks, it seems that some other stops that the station is part of is still part of the running system, so it was indeed feasible to renovate, especially since I totally done this building over before and then they just give up on it. Anyway, I did not do a massive renovation. We did enough to just make it work. As you can see, it's gonna look a lot nicer. There we go. Open, simple, plain, just enough to do the job. Here's the expanded ticket counter. And as you can see there. And the e-ticket machines here. Similar almost to what was here before. Staff only. We'll go up there momentarily. We've all seen these before. And we'll just go down anyway. None of these were touched. They're still the same way they were. Similar downstairs. It's all the same. And there's a stairway to the bottom one. And of course we have the ladder elevators. Same thing. Nothing's really been done to that. So this is all opened up. It's not congested and cumbersome looking with all those gates and what have not. Upstairs, like I said, we just did enough. I mean, it still looks pretty much the same, except the offices are now occupied, and we even have a little boardroom right here. Just enough to do the job. And you might have noticed that over here in the corner, we've got quote-unquote turnstiles here. We got the Wi-Fi hotspot, so as you're waiting for your train, you can sit down here and do your Wi-Fi stuff. This was a dead space, especially up there. I made some use of it. I think it came out pretty well. And of course, reinvented the front of it right here. Again, just enough to make it work and make it look pretty good. And it's not 100% complete because I totally forgot to do that. There, now it's complete. Save everything I've done. So this station is once again up and running. The other stops are up and running, so I don't know why the particular line that serves this station was closed. Didn't make sense, so we fixed that. Wasn't really much to do, just did enough to make it feasible. And once again, we got this building. Only difference now is, as I said, we've gutted. I mean, this is normal. We've removed this wall. That section's got to go. But that's when we put guts in, and a creeper somehow formed in here. Oh. Yeah, we got some dark spots apparently. You know what? In all honesty, I have no idea how the creeper got here. There aren't really any dark spots. Except for this. And there isn't anything under 7 that I know of. Or 7 or under, should I say. Well, that's what we got for you now. So the next thing to do is get ourselves some office space up here and make a lobby so that people can get up here. Okay. One of the other things we have done is we've been gifted this building before Liam and Cube Expert got the axe. And I've taken off the front that used to be there. This is the new front. This will be the new elevator system. And one thing I am going to keep, but I'm going to kind of redo on the inside, which I've already done, is this parking garage, which looks like crap. And what am I thinking here? I've misplaced the stone bricks. See, none of the pillars they've put in actually lined up with the structure that they built. So that has been fixed. And one of the other things they've done, and I've told them not to do, is get right up to builds they haven't done, and this is yet another infraction. I'm gonna let this little part of it live, but this part, well, not so much. This part is gonna come down. It violates the rules. And this was going to be part of a shopping mall that they were building, but they gave up on it, so they gifted me the land back here as well. This was an effort to clear the land so they could build the mall, and yeah, it looks like crap, but eventually we're gonna terraform that and make it look pretty good as well. And I understand that because it's an older server and a lot of the nice building blocks don't exist, so I can understand some of the builds being a little less than attractive. I mean, this is what you could do with what's available. So, I mean, this is plenty good. I got no problems with this at all. We've got buildings like this that are just incompleted eyesores. This is one of those buildings that could probably, I think this can probably be finished up. That's something that could be built. This, I'm not sure what it is. Okay, horse stables. They're a bit small, but I guess it might work. Here's some more nonsensical land clearing they were going to do for no reason. Here's another big set of condos, and lagged. Not sure what this is supposed to be. I forgot what it was. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. Oh, self-storage. Okay, see, I mean, like I said, the previous building, this was kind of a thing in its day, so yeah, I could see this being something. This is something that can be finished up. I don't think there'll be a problem with that. There's the junior high. The quote-unquote 10-pin bowling. And that was something, I don't know what happened there, but it was a legitimate build. And the expanded grade school. So, I mean, right now, nothing really looks all that much different except for this. And this was very poorly built. They just literally, and I don't blame them because I've even seen it on Craft Theory, which is filled with a bunch of really good builders, is this is all swamp and rivers. They just simply capped. They didn't fill in the river or the whatever. And like I said, I've seen that done on many servers. So I'm capping it appropriately. If we go down here, I'm not filling it. I'm just capping it off. Structural pillars. Haven't got to this little section yet. This is going to be what I call quote-unquote challenge arena. Where in this part of it, there'll be stadium seating and some sort of challenge in there. And this is the second floor, which obviously is going to disappear at some point. And this is what this building looks like now. It's got all the glass in it. And we have the offices generally laid out, and then we lag out again. Secondary exit. In the hallway, we got the roof on this part of the building. And I'm thinking, come on, we can work now. We can try that. I'm thinking I'll leave this exit here. I know it's a very tight quarters, but at least we could probably put in a sidewalk here. And we got a few businesses that are going to be in here. And there's going to be an Irish pub in this little section, hence why we got the half window over here. Public display of drunkenness, not good. And this is going to be... this will be something else. And I've shown you this already. Actual stuff to be used. This was the sidewalk. I've told you all this already. This whole thing is going to become something. You will see that eventually. It won't be in this video. This wall's going to get covered up. That's what these ledges are for. It's a wall for a specific thing. Specific design for this. Come on. Okay. That one I understand because I shut that. So that's what we got for you for now. And I've shown you the revamped station that needlessly was shut. And MC Scout, how we miss you. Hopefully you'll come back. This seems to be a highly ambitious project here. One of the other things we need to do is, this is another reason why it is added up to a couple of people getting the axe, is, well, there's nothing wrong with them building a road. They've breached. Come on. They've breached property that wasn't theirs. This was the second or third time we told them not to do that, and they just do it anyway. Anyway, this whole elevated road, which is elevated for 0 reasons whatsoever, is gonna disappear. In fact, this section doesn't even make sense. It doesn't really serve anything. Although in actuality, it probably does. its sole purpose was to serve the stadium. So yeah, so this whole section can disappear. Yeah, there's still a lot of repair work to do from these people. There's another building. I'm not 100% sure who made this, but I think this is going to be one of those that will be redone. I have a feeling this was going to be a new... No, Sean's Seaside Restaurant. How ugly it is. I think I'll probably fix that. This building looks like there was a bit of effort involved, so maybe at some point we'll do something with it. Unless somebody else wants to do something with it. This is getting knocked down because you can't have any structures with doors within 15 blocks of this thing or it's not going to work. I've had issues, see, like right here. This is causing problems. We can't have buildings that shouldn't... Oh, come on. You can do the job now. It's amazing how many swipes it takes. Yet you get nothing from it. See, there's no buildings with doors. I mean, this one's kind of right here. That I think that is far enough away. I'm not 100% sure, but this definitely isn't. This is going to disappear. And again, we have this nonsensical land clearing, although for the building it kind of sort of works. Yeah, this one's going to disappear. That one is good. This, I'm not sure what was going to be. More nonsense land clearing. I might just, you know, make a stone wall so it looks justifiable. Not sure what this is going to be, but it looks like it was a partial, I don't know what this is going to be. Well, since they're gone now, and they've decided to disobey things, this top level might be, yeah, might axe it. Their house I won't touch. Lots of unapproved things here. Like I said, this I can probably do something with. So that's what we got for you right now. So, video's starting to get long, but there's enough room for one more piece. So, I think we'll go on top of his little building here. I'm sure there's going to be a couple of very upset kids that they're learning from this video, being they rarely visit the server anymore, that they found that their stuff is being redone because, well, they're no longer part of the server because they don't want to follow the rules. So, yeah, I think one more update and then we'll call this video good and then come back with another episode at some other point. Alright, to wrap up this segment of what was ultimately going to be the end, but isn't, is we finished up this building, or should I say, well, mostly it's finished. We got tenants in here. So as you can see, we got office spaces that are filled up now. We got the office space here, for example, adult education classes. Just didn't quite put up a whiteboard yet. Attorneys' offices, you get the idea. It's just basically a building that is fully occupied. Simple enough. And we got fire exits on either office. And we of course have to show you every office we got. And I forgot to shut this door. Alright. And then the emergency exit, which goes down to this right here, which has never been, well, a door has never been put in. So, yes, we ops have the god powers, as I call it. So, yeah, we just don't have the time to manage the server. And put that in. So let's take care of a few loose ends because I wanted this building to be completely done and it isn't. Plus we're going to end in an area that emergency exit do not block. Yeah, we'll keep it like that. We're going to go on the other side to put in a button anyway. And this is the candlepin bowling alley that's going to be put together. But as you can see, I've put in the quote-unquote lanes, and there is a stagger so that there's room for the front desk. There are the switches to turn the lanes quote-unquote on and off. Really just decorative. And the reason it looks the way it does right now just put that there. Emergency exit only. There. Couple of loose ends to wrap up. Left it incomplete because the new textures, the concrete textures for 1.12 are coming out very soon. I was going to use clay blocks to do a decorative wall in here, but the clay blocks have a much more true color appearance than the clay blocks do for what I want. So, yep. For now, this is how the candlepin alley will be left. And of course this is going to be changed completely. And so I think we'll end it right here. F5 and turn around. So hard to do it. Anyway, when we come back, this is going to look a lot nicer. And actually I want to... yeah, we're going to take the emergency exit. Yay. It works. MC Scout, I wonder if he's ever going to come back. I don't think he will. He was going to build a theater here. As I mentioned before, maybe this is a regular survival server, but like I said, us ops are ultra busy. Plus, with all the maintenance that has to go on a server this gigantic, us mods, we kinda need the creativity. One of the projects we're going to do is we're going to take this very unapproved project, which, again, one of the reasons why the people that were banned got banned is you do not modify other people's work, and this modified people's work. Although the only reason I kept it is it actually served a purpose as a direct entry into Real Tough Park. But this looks butt ugly and does not fit the city at all. So this was a good idea. I'm gonna rip it down and replace it with something much better looking than that. Alright, now I'm gonna do the F5. And that'll be it for this particular episode from the Real Tough City server. This is George F551 saying, hope you enjoyed and have a good one.